Hi, my name is Catherine and I'm your host for Sparrow Podcast. Welcome back to another amazing episode with my amazing guest, a true progress coach, Pierre Wurth. He is as my friend and has a lot of experience in the fitness area, and also he works in law enforcement. So watch out, be careful. Hi, Pierre. Welcome back
Hi, Katrine. Thank you for having me again.
again. What can I do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
my plane is only on Sunday, so
So let's be more serious now. If we look at the bodybuilding area and fitness area in general, this is a sport where you usually compare yourself with others. And at what point do you think that this comparison becomes toxic?
well, I think you have to differentiate. Like I said in the previous episode, let's make the difference between like the bodybuilder who is doing it for like competition reasons, and the competition is that he wants to compare to other bodybuilders from his division, and he needs to fit a certain standard. And that standard is like set by the other bodybuilders and by the judges who expect certain criteria. And then you have like the recreational guy or girl who goes to the gym and just body builds in order to reshape themselves. The bodybuilder, he will have to compare to others. I mean, like there's no way around that. For the recreational bodybuilder, I'll say, I think that comparing to other people should not be their first criteria and not even their second criteria. Like, first of all, and I know that sounds so cliche, but like you should start by comparing yourself to who you were yesterday. Like, I mean, you started for a reason. You were at point A and you started that journey for some reason, like losing weight, gaining muscle, whatever. Like, did you improve on that journey? Yes, good. Have you become better than yesterday? Good. Have you become better than last week? Good. So that's what matters most. And I know it's cliche, but it's true. Now, I think that to some small degree, it's okay to compare yourself to others. Why? Because let's speak in numbers. If you go to the gym, if you start the gym in, let's say, in 2020, okay? In 2020, you started the gym and you were bench pressing, I don't know, 100 kilograms. Like it's very easy, it's a round number. And in 2024, you're benching 120 kilograms for one repetition or for your one rep max. But you have other people in the gym that are benching already, who started with you at the same level, and they're already benching 150 or 160, whatever. What does that tell you? Well, it helps you to reevaluate maybe the effort that you're doing or the effort that you thought you were doing or the progress that you thought you were doing. Like, yes, you are better than the person that you were yesterday. Okay. But could you be even better? And that you can figure it out if you maybe look around yourself. Now, of course, you have to be aware that the other people, they for sure have other genetics than you. There are always outliers. Some people are just gifted. Also, I picked now the movement of bench pressing. Like maybe you're not built for that movement, but you're a good squatter, whatever.
Also, never judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree.
Sure. Yeah, very good one. Very good one. Sure. I mean, it was just like in order to keep it simple.
Yes,
But
I
like
understand.
in the bigger picture, like you should sometimes just in order to reassess your progress and just to reassess just your progress in the end, like just like maybe sometimes compare yourself to others in order to progress. And I'm gonna give you like some examples. Like I go in the same gym, like I go in many gyms, but it's like I have one gym in which I go since over a decade. Okay. And there are the same people, like some people are like also there since a decade. These people have not changed like a bit. Like, and I have like probably gained 20 kilos in that decade of muscle and they haven't changed. And now someone would maybe argue and say like, yeah, but they just go there in order to feel good and they don't really want to grow and whatever. And then I will be like, well, no, that doesn't really, that explanation doesn't really fit with what they are doing, because like I see them train and I see them train hard. I see them using like advanced techniques. I don't know, like rest pause sets and drop sets, like which are intensifiers in bodybuilding. And you use that if you hope to create more stimulus, and then they go out of the gym and they drink their protein shake and like they try to live the lifestyle, but they're not progressing, you know. So at some point, first of all, they should ask themselves, like, am I better than yesterday? Because if they're the same than 10 years ago, like they did not really ask that question. And if they would compare themselves to others, they would probably be like, well, I'm behind, like something is wrong here. You know, like I'm really advancing like a snail and the other person there is advancing like a leopard. There's a problem. Can it become toxic? Yes, especially in the time of social media. And I'm not demonizing social media. Like, every medal has like the good side and the bad side. And without social media, we wouldn't know each other.
Yes.
Without social media, we wouldn't be able to, me spread my coaching, you spread your podcast.
Definitely.
But you also know like all of the tips and tricks that you can use on social media in order to look better, to look taller, bigger.
I mean, everyone, it's looking good, it's perfect, it's rich, it's happy, and has like life goals.
Sure. I mean, like if someone,
the reality is different.
exactly. Yeah. If someone is looking this episode now and is thinking like, who's that guy? Like, just go on my profile, check my pictures, and I swear, if I would take off my T-shirt now, I don't look like nearly how I look on my pictures. Like, I dieted on purpose in order to look that way, and like, you know, like I had like a professional photographer. He was using perfect angles, perfect lighting.
Yes.
So I tell people, like, please don't compare yourself to me in that picture, because that's like a very specific setting. And that can become toxic. And I don't know why, but I have seen like, even to dramatic degrees, like girls like literally like ruining their mental health because they were comparing themselves to like fitness models. And it's not like to point the finger at these fitness models. It's like the girl who wasn't able to cope with that fake reality. So she was comparing her reality with a fake reality. Which is actually one of the reasons why I tell people to go to FIBO, which happens every year in Cologne, like that fitness and bodybuilding expo. And I tell them, like, go there and look at your idol, look at them, like, and then you'll see like they're completely different. And I mean, everyone knows that if they look at themselves in the mirror, like everyone has their favorite side and their favorite pose, and everyone knows, like, I'm not gonna put on this light, but just that light because I'm gonna look bigger. And you just have to just stay on the ground and just accept the reality. And it's just like with alcohol, like if you're not able to be responsible, you know, drink responsibly, consume alcohol responsibly, consume social media responsibly, consume sugar and fat responsibly. That's it. Just be a responsible human being.
Okay, it's all about the balance.
It's all, of course, it's all about the balance. It's not the bad social media. It's not the evil influencer. Even though some are like really like editing big time their pictures in order to sell like their programs. Like they get exposed all the time. Like they Photoshop their booty in order like to have like they look like Colombians or Brazilians, and they're actually like in reality they're a spaghetti, you know. And then they're like, please buy my program. I'm gonna grow your booty. And until their scam gets revealed, like they have cashed in like quite a bit of money.
They're already enjoying the life on the yacht.
Yeah, exactly. I
would like to know, does external validation play a high role for you? Do you need the likes, the fires?
I would say let's erase the word high.
Okay.
A high role.
Okay.
Wow, that's a good one. Like, I would be a hypocrite if I would sit here and just be like, well, no, you know, I don't need any external validation. Like, I would just be a hypocrite. First of all, why? It's because we're human beings, and human beings are wired in a way that we're tribal. We want to, like, the human being always wants to be part of a tribe, wants to be accepted by a group. like you know, in school, like you were not with the cool girls, you were with that girls, or you were with the rock girls, or you were with the punk girls. Like you always want to be part of a certain group. You know?
Yes, because this is a part of our evolution.
Exactly.
We've always been like social creatures,
Exactly.
living in
Exactly.
tribes and then developing to these more complex social structures.
Exactly. So you always, to some degree, want to be validated by the tribe that you want to belong to. Now, does it play a huge role for me? No, not anymore, I would say.
Okay.
Now, what I'm gonna say now, I don't know how to phrase it because it's gonna sound weird in many ways, but like once you've built yourself up to a certain level that you could claim that to some degree you have set a certain standard, then you don't really look to be validated anymore by someone else because you're like I've set my own standard, you know. So I'm not looking to get validated by a bodybuilder bigger than me because I don't want to get bigger, you know. Like I am 120 kilograms, 188 centimeters. Like I am big,
Yeah.
athletic, you know.
Yeah.
Like I don't need someone to come up to me and be like, "Hey man, you look big," and I'll be like, "Oh my god, thank you," because I know that I'm not small.
Yes. I mean, it's obvious. I don't see so good. But still, I can see you're small.
I'm not, you know, like I'm not a Mr. Olympia by any stretch of the imagination. It's not what I mean. I just mean like by this, just the quantity of
Yes.
the quantity of human being that I represent when I enter a
Yes.
room. It's like, it's okay. I know that I'm big. Thank you. And even if I don't get that validation, it's fine for me, you know?
Okay.
But everybody loves a pat on the back.
Okay.
You know,
Of
I'm not gonna
course.
lie. I'm not gonna lie. If
Yes.
someone comes to me and I go in a shop, like, and I go shopping for clothes, like, and then there's like the guy coming and he's like, "Hey, big man, can I help you find a shirt?" I'm like, "Yeah, of course." So of course, it feels good, right?
Yes.
But I'm not making myself dependent anymore. And if someone comes up to me now and it's just like, I don't know, like, just give me some shitty criticism, I'm also in a position now to just shrug it off and just be like, okay, fuck you, you know.
Okay.
If the criticism is not constructive, you know, if it's just some hate. Now I know that other people, they would crumble under the pressure because like they're looking to get validated, they're looking for that validation. And I have certain examples in my head now, but it would just go like way beyond the realm of discussion.
Okay.
But like they're literally looking for that validation. And if you would tell these people certain things, like I know that you will make their life miserable just because they're trying to fit in, and yeah, because they probably also haven't found out how to set a standard for themselves. And I speak now generally, it's not just about fitness and bodybuilding. Of course, it's the obvious. Like you introduced me now as like the fitness coach, and I sit
Yes.
here, and it was also the first episode. But I speak also about all of the other areas in life. Like at some point, if you, like I said, Kaizen, if you started like improving in every areas of life, like yeah, at some point you're at a level where you're comfortable just being like, hey, I'm good, thank you, you know, like just yeah, pat on the back or no pat on the back, I'm feeling good, you know.
Okay. So you feel good with yourself.
Yeah.
That's good.
Like I always like to say, and now this is gonna sound weird now, I swear to God, this is the moment that people are gonna turn off your podcast.
Thank you. I appreciate you, my friend.
You're welcome. Like I always give that quote. If people are like, "Oh, are you happy with your situation?" I always say like, "Well, if I wouldn't be me, I would want to be me and no one else." You know?
Okay.
And that sounds very cocky, but if you think about it, okay, if you look in the mirror, and you're not, in the mirror, like not visually, like everything. If you look in the mirror and the person in front of you doesn't inspire you, like
Yes.
then there's something that you're doing which is not
sure.
correct. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like, is the person in front of you that you're seeing, is that a person that you would be like, hey, I would really want to be that person?
Yes.
Well, I am that person. It's
And
cool.
I also do that. Like I like to look at myself, reflect about myself,
Yeah,
see where I stand, where are my values.
exactly.
Am I becoming a better person? Am I sticking also to my values?
Yeah. If I would have like a little brother, like a little brother, like would I want him to just look at me and just be like, well, I want to be like him? I'd be like, no, you want to be yourself, but I'm happy that you just see me as a role model, you know?
Yes.
This is why I love to say that sentence that I said now, like a few seconds ago, like if I would not be me, I would want to be myself, because I know that people go nuts when they hear it. They're
I
like,
don't find it arrogant.
but if I gave some context, now,
Yes.
but sometimes I don't give context. You know, I just drop it in the room, and you see people be like,
and then
oh,
you're
like,
dropping the mic.
yeah, and then you see people going like, ooh, and then I'm like, hey, calm down, you know.
But because you said that, I just got an idea in my mind.
Oh God,
Ay,
buckle
ay.
up your seatbelt.
Yes. If we look at it from another perspective, would you say I would like to date myself?
Oh, that sounds
From
weird.
from the female perspective, like
Okay.
you know what I mean?
Yes, of course. Well, yes, to some degree. Why?
Okay.
So when I say improving in life, I mean everything. Like I mean knowledge, emotional intelligence, physically, health, relationships. All right. And I had relationships in the past which failed because of reasons, you know, because of
Yes.
her, because of me, because of us, because of
Yes.
dynamics, because I was young, because I was immature,
Yes.
because I didn't have my shit together, because my emotional intelligence, well, I was at the point where my vocabulary didn't even know the term emotional intelligence. So my emotional intelligence was also at that level, etc., 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 you know? So if you start to improve in all of these areas of life, like at some point, you hope at least to become a man that if a woman interacts with him, she's like, she feels kind of attracted, you know, like she notices like, all right, you know, like he has his shit together. Like he seems mature. He works out. He works on himself. He seems reflected. Yeah, like an interesting person. Now, at the end of the day, if I don't know if I'm not every girl's type, you know, so I cannot guarantee for that. But like, if you ask me the questions,
Generally speaking,
sure, I try to be the better version in everything. And if I mess up something in a relationship, I'll try to improve. And actually, by the way, I started this improve, like let's say I shifted up the gears in my improvement journey, but like I shifted up the gears like big time. Once my last relationship of 6 years ended in 2021, and it was a very toxic relationship from both sides. And I could have had the choice to just deal with it by just being like, well, it's her fault. Like, she was a bitch. Nah, 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 nah. Or just walking around and just being like, no, it's all my fault. Like, I just took, and that's what I did. I took all the blame. Like every thing I could remember, every situation I could remember, I just took the blame for myself. And I was like, this is where I messed up. This is where I messed up, where I messed up. And then I tried to improve every single aspect, even though if some external expert would rewatch the scene on video, would be like, well, no, everybody has his part. No,
Of course.
I was also part of that moment. So I have a huge amount of responsibility. And in my life, from the part that I had to play in that scene, well, I have full responsibility. And probably if I would have acted differently, thought differently, articulated myself differently, she would have maybe not said or done what she did, you know? So I was probably not the stable man or the emotionally intelligent man that could have helped guide her into her feminine energy. Oh, I'm getting esoteric here. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
So,
I
and
understand.
actually, this is where I started like going for long walks, like long walks. I probably went to China back and forth like 3 times. And listened to many books, audiobooks, read about stoicism and stuff like that, and just reflected myself and tried to change. And well, this is the part that I usually don't like to speak so much about it, you know, because because I open up a bit. But I'm here for that.
and I appreciate that you're genuinely opening up
Yeah, well,
in this way.
I mean, like, yeah. So yeah, I went for long walks. I just try to improve the way I look at the world and I look at myself, and just and just be another person, you know, like, and know that the next time that I'm gonna go in a relationship, I'll be so confident that I know that what I'm bringing to the table is mostly good quality because I'm not perfect. I say mostly because
Of course, nobody is perfect.
yeah, I will fail a
like,
day or another, like I will say something stupid, I will behave
yes.
badly, but like that, what I bring to the table is mostly good quality, and that the person that I am will also help indirectly, right, to guide the girl in front of me in her femininity and to make the right decisions. And I just give like a healthy foundation to build something on it. And if something goes wrong, I'll search the problem with me first and try to fix it from there.
And you managed to grow and to improve yourself and to do the work on yourself. So I think that's something which should be like really appreciated.
I mean, it's also we men should do that even more than women because I mean, it's very known that like women are primarily driven emotionally and men are primarily driven rationally. And once the emotions have cleared with women, then they go in the rational part. And for men, it's like they go in the rational part and then they go in their emotional part. So if a storm arises, like it's the man who should remain calm and be like like be the mountain in the storm and just like she just let the woman with her emotion just guide her and calm her down. So if the man also just acts like an immature emotional child, like just like, I mean, that's like a tornado facing a storm in the ocean. Like, I don't know, it just
Do you think that the man is also partially responsible for the emotional well-being of the woman?
well, yeah, both are responsible for
Of
the
course, of
both.
course.
Yeah, yes, both. Like, I mean, everything that I'm saying here, like that you should take responsibility for yourself, for your actions, blah, blah, blah. It also applies to you, dear ladies. But we're not going to make finger pointing here. We're pointing the fingers towards us and we're taking accountability. So, yes. And through our position, like I said, as the rational being that we should be, we have maybe like, I don't know if it's not 50-50, maybe we have like 70% responsibility, just to give like an arbitrary number. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The way you act, the way you speak, shows so much confidence. So I would like to know: is this something which you've built throughout time? Have you always been confident, or were you maybe shy and you just developed the confidence throughout time?
Well, I think that well, I think that the first part of the question, like I've answered it like already, like just
Yes.
before. So it was built over time, like all that emotional and relational aspect. And then yeah, it's no, I've never been like that. Like I I was like probably just like a young boy like everyone else, and I was mouthy, and I was just trying to hide my insecurities by being super cool and everything. But I think that's also part of being a boy or being an adolescent. I mean, they say that men mature later than women, probably. For sure. Yeah, well, I'd say yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, it comes over time. It comes with with adversity in relationships. It comes with taking responsibility in your job. I mean, job in law enforcement, like you have a lot of responsibility to take. You have a lot of adversity. You see a lot of bad stuff. You get confronted to. You have to take a lot of serious decisions, like really serious decisions. You build yourself, you build your personality, and as a police officer, also you have to sometimes go into situations where in front of groups of people, like, and to just like make sure to bring back law and order. And then you have to have confidence. And actually you see that also with police officers. Like you see them, the ones that yell and that get agitated when they're on scene, and then you have the ones that just come and they're calm, like, and they have a certain aura, and like you have the impression that it's a war zone around them, and they just appear, and they just, the more it's chaotic, the more they get calm, and they have like a certain aura, and they calm situations down. And I mean, also as a police officer, you have to grow in the beginning. Like in the beginning you're like a small dog, like a chihuahua, you know, like you bark at everything, and then at some point you grow up and you start to become like the very big
Dinosaur.
sorry.
Dinosaur.
Yeah, whatever, you know, like you just remain calm, and through your aura
Yeah.
you calm the situation down, and you start to understand like the stress which is in front of you, and you start to understand that you don't respond to stress with more stress because you're just going to agitate more. So that also helps you to regulate your emotions, and then you take that and then you take it into your relationships, and then from there you work on yourself to be a better boyfriend or whatever, and then it just comes together. I mean, I could not even give you like the perfect recipe. It's just like how it happened with me.
Yes, of course.
And I mean, at some point in life, once you know how to stand tall, once you know how to speak in public, once you know how to articulate yourself, and sorry for the listener if I don't articulate myself perfectly, but this is my fourth language, so I'm trying to do my best. But once you know how to stand tall, how to articulate yourself, how may sound primitive for some people who are blessed to live in very safe areas, but once you know how to fight and to take down big, dangerous people, you know, and you have been hurt, you have been scared, you have been victorious over dangerous criminal. Once you have stood in front of courts and you were defending your case in front of like very educated, very old, very experienced judges, and you are the small boy and you're sweating and you're like, my God, like I have to justify here why I made all this whole scene. And it's adversity, you know, and you come down there and you have made a good case. I mean, you just grow, and once you know how to talk, stand tall, fight, be a good boyfriend, have your emotions under control, make money, yeah, then you start to get confident, because actually, isn't that life? We come on this planet in order to reproduce and die, and in the meanwhile have some fun, earn some money, and get through adversity, you know. And if you know how to defend yourself physically, defend the people you love physically, provide for them, and not be an asshole, well, then you're a little bit confident. Yeah.
Yes, I get it. And I'm sure, speaking about confidence, part of that comes, of course, from the physical aspect.
Yeah.
And after working out for a long time and having a nice shape, of course, that plays a part in your confidence.
Of course, yeah.
So I would like to know, if we look from another perspective at the fitness area, what effects does fitness have on our mental well-being and on our emotions, besides the nice physical aspect?
Well, I mean, it's well known that sports releases hormones like dopamine, endorphins. Like everyone probably heard about the runner's high. Like they go run for half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, and after that run, like their body starts to release so much endorphin that they feel super good and they want to redo it. I mean, also like the dopamine, this effect of like going to the gym and just crushing a new personal record, and you just feel good. And then, of course, the long-term result. I mean, who doesn't feel good waking up, seeing that his shape improved, seeing just very basic, seeing that the effort he has put in some type of work, this time is going to be the gym, like that he can, like he can reap the fruit of his investment. So, of course, it feels good. Yeah. Now, I think you want to say something.
You can go on.
No, actually, I have nothing to add.
Okay, then I'll say something, because we were speaking about mental well-being and mood. So I would like to know, is gym a way for you to escape when you are in a bad mood?
No.
Okay.
Okay, I see where you're going with that. No, not for me. Like gym is, like I said in the previous episode, gym is for me, it's just like brushing my teeth. It's just like part of my day. If I have a good day, if I have a bad day.
Okay.
And I believe that like people who say like that the gym is their therapy, because they like to write that in their Instagram.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, I believe it's ridiculous. Because if gym is your therapy, means it doesn't. To some degree, it means that it's how do you call it? that it's conditional. Oh, you're going to the gym because you need therapy. It's not the right approach. Like, you should just go to the gym to go to the gym. And if you need therapy, you go to therapy. And yes, gym will make you feel good. But if you have like a serious problem in your life, well, then you should not just pump your biceps or your booty. Well, you should just attack that problem. And the gym should just be you're not waking up in the morning, brushing your teeth and just being like, oh, brushing teeth is my therapy because I feel bad. No, you brush your teeth because you need to brush your teeth. And if you go to the gym, like, this should be like just a healthy habit. Just like you go to sleep in time, just like you have a hygiene, you should also just go to the gym. I understand that if people say that, they maybe want to make just like these, they just want to express the fact that they feel bad, they go to the gym, they're going to feel good. But I would not say, for me, for sure not. I don't associate gym and it being my therapy. No, because very often, actually, well, no, that would go very far. No, let's leave it. Let's leave it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Speaking of struggles or being in a bad mood, as long as we live, we will face challenges, we will have problems, and depending of what type of problems we face, sometimes this can have an effect on our mental health and the mental well-being. And some problems might affect us long-term and create depression, anxiety, post-traumatic disorder, and so on, just to name a few. Usually when dealing with these kind of emotions or mental struggles, women tend to be more like vocal and tend to seek help in an earlier phase and to express their emotions easier. I don't want to generalize, but there is a tendency that women are more vocal in expressing their negative feelings, while men tend to like shrink or to not seek help. And I would like to ask you, why do you think that happens? And do you think there is a stigma around men and mental health?
Wow. Okay. Well, I think in order to not lose ourselves, like, we will have to speak in general terms.
Yes, of course.
We
I
will
mean,
have to.
we need to make clear that there are particular cases.
Of course, but overall,
There are, yes, very specific cases, and everyone deals different with troubles. But if we like have like a broad discussion.
from which angle should I attack that question? Well, is there a stigma about men expressing their emotions? I don't really know from what angle to attack the question. So, yes, women are much more vocal about their emotional trauma, I call it. Why is that? I believe that it comes from the fact, first of all, that women are probably going to search out for their female friends, which are also emotional creatures, who are also going to be able to relate with their trauma, and are also going to relate with the fact that their friend is so vocal about her trauma. So you understand what I mean? Like, you have like that friend and she's just crying out for help and she's telling everybody about her problems. And all of her female friends are like, yeah, I understand her because I feel the same and I would also be so vocal. So it's more accepted. Besides that, females, I mean, there has always been, and I also believe in that. Like, I mean, there's always been this thing of like the man who protects the woman, like, or the daddy who protects the small girl, his small princess, blah blah blah. So the woman also will be vocal about her problems towards man, and she will feel probably understood because the man will have this protector instinct and will lean into her and listen and here and there and take care. Good. From the opposite side now, as a man, you have not really been taught to refrain from being emotional. It's just that You have been taught overall to be capable, competent, strong, not even physically, like define, just strong, like just be like mentally strong, stand tall, whatever, just be a capable man. Because at the end of the day, that's also, if we would talk about dating now, that's also one of the criteria, or like probably the major criteria that women are seeking from a man, is like just a capable, strong man with frame, So this is kind of ingrained in us men. So on one hand, we don't want that. It's not a facade, but we don't want. I'm gonna call it facade. We don't want that facade to be stained, So we don't want to show a crack in our frame, maybe. Then on the other hand, who are we going to call?
That would be my next question.
Another man. Like there is this video going viral, who went viral like 1-2 years ago on Instagram, about a girl, and she said, like, she made like a reel. She said, like, like, well, each time I'm feeling bad, I'm calling my best friend, da 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 da. Who are you calling? Who are your friends? And that reel has been remixed and recut. And there's so many men who just answered like, nobody. I'm a man. Nobody cares. And that's the point. Like, nobody really cares. Like, if you have maybe a best friend, he's going to listen to you, probably. But it's not like you're going to call 15 friends and they're all going to be like, oh my God, like, I don't know why, but I'm just going to be emotional with you for no other reason than I just want to be emotional with you because I'm also an emotional creature. No, like, we're all rational. So we're also men. We're like, what's your problem? Hey, dude, what's your problem? Well, this and then that. Well, then fix your problem. Well, okay, but then fix your problem. Yeah, but shut the fuck up, fix your problem. You have a problem, fix your problem. We're rational. And that's also something that, by the way, people who have experience with girls, and I would tell the same by experience, like, women, when they complain about a problem or when they are traumatized, traumatized is a strong word, like when they are sad and they cry about a problem with men, they don't want the problem to be fixed. They just want to be listened to.
Yeah.
They just want to be like, oh yeah, they just want to be acknowledged in their emotions. And other girls are very good in that. But men are not good at that. Like, if someone comes to me, like if I have a girlfriend and she comes to me and she's like, well, I have this problem, that problem, I'm like, okay, good. Well, I have 3 solutions for every problem that you just mentioned. Oh, you don't understand me. I'm like, the fuck? Of course I understand you. I just gave you and a huge fight would erupt from there. So we don't have the same way to approach problems. So as a man, you're also like, sometimes you feel emotionally drowned, but who are you going to refer to? To your male friends who are not going to just pat you on the back and just be like, everything's going to be fine, because that's not the masculine way of doing things. And to what? Another girl? You're supposed to be the strong man with frame in front of another girl. Besides that, because women are so vocal about their emotion, and everyone knows, everyone knows girls in their family, in their friends, in their circle who had problems and they were very vocal about it, and everyone knows about it. So the majority of the population is much more capable to deal with, I'm gonna phrase it differently. Like, man problem, they get fixed with female methods. Like, if a man is looking for help, like, he's probably gonna find, if he finds someone who's listening to him, he's gonna get treated. Now, treated would be like by a psychologist, and I hope that a psychologist has other methods, but like by his relatives, he's gonna get treated like a woman, and they will try to acknowledge just his sorrow, and it's not actually the way it should get fixed. You know what I mean? So it's very complicated. And at the end of the day, like, you just probably deal with yourself. Like, you just learn to handle the shit by yourself. I know it was very confusing, but it's how it is, Like, we don't just sit there and make a story on our Instagram where we cry and we just piss off the world. And a lot of girls do that. Not all, and it's a small percentage, but
yes.
you get the analogy.
Yeah, but they are also attention seekers. Like,
it was just a small analogy. Like, of course, I don't generalize it, but overall, like, if we have a problem, like, we just Yeah, just
Okay.
deal with it. And I mean, that's probably also one of the reasons why male suicide is so freaking high, compared to female
Yes.
suicide, because just like we have no idea how to deal with it.
But
Because
do you think there can be something done towards that direction to change a bit the perception and to encourage them to seek help?
well, that's easier said than done. I'm gonna give
Of
you an example.
course.
If I would have a problem in life, like a real problem, I would not want. I don't want. I'm not. I don't want to talk in absolute terms, but I will not search for advice from somebody who I don't see like as someone who could really fix my problem.
And I would like to know now from the alpha male,
Well, thank you.
can a man cry sometimes and still be considered an alpha?
We don't cry. We sweat from our eyes. We sweat profusely. I mean, of course. Men, if you have emotions inside of you, you should let them out, and you should let them. I mean, if you have the choice between like becoming violent, I mean, you should first of all you should control your emotions. That's number one. Like, I mean, you should handle them and deal with them in a very stoic way, as stoic as possible. And of course, I mean, crying is just like a reaction of the body. Like, I mean, you could start shaking, you can start yelling, which, I mean, you should control yourself. And if you have some tears running down your eyes and it helps you to relieve some pressure, yeah, why would you go and punish yourself and just put even more stress on yourself for a normal reaction? But if you cry, it should actually, well, it should. From my perspective, it's like you just release some tension. Like I don't know, you go in a room, you just cry, you go out, and then you attack your shit. You don't sit there to cry, to just be a bitch and whine about a problem. Like, oh, I have a problem and I don't know how to fix it, but I'm gonna cry about it, because that's not gonna fix it. That's bitching about it. That's just like with fitness, like that's just like wishful thinking. Oh, I'm just gonna cry and something's gonna happen. No, shut the fuck up. Just be disciplined and take action and fix your problem. If you need to make a pause, just release some tension, just sweat through your eyes for 10 minutes. Well, go ahead, do it. Like, you're not gonna go to hell for that, and you're not gonna be less of a man or whatever. And if someone thinks that you're less of a man because of that, then that person is probably insecure at some point,
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think because you have this aura of, as we said, confidence, and I mean, you are fit, you're strong, successful, and probably people think you have everything figured out in your life. So,
No.
is it like that?
No.
Or do you have periods when you have time, or do you have times when you feel like you go through some struggles, that there is that there that your well-being is affected in some way?
Yes, of course. I'm not Superman in like
Oh,
any
you're not?
stretch. No, I'm just very sorry. Should I leave? By any stretch of the imagination, I'm not Superman. I'm a complete normal human being. Yes, I have some stuff figured out, and even the stuff figured out, how you call it, like, I know many people who have it figured out, who also have it figured out. They were just too fucking lazy to do something out of their situations, So I'm just someone who tried to play the card intelligently that life has dealt towards him, and to from there like build the personality that I have. And I have faced the same adversity probably than everybody else, with the difference that I know how to deal with it now. I know how to deal with more adversity than the standard person. So that also takes a toll on me as well sometimes. And yeah, but like I told you, like stoicism, emotional intelligence, like just get my shit together, look at the problem, not looking away, and just looking, okay, well, I have a problem. Good. Well, then let's attack it. And yeah,
and learn from it and grow from it.
Exactly. And yes, also me, sometimes I'm sad, and also me, sometimes I have anxiety and point. I'm just completely normal.
Human being.
Normal human being who just like has figured certain stuff out, and therefore I'm able to sometimes like remodel my reality in the way and shape it how I like it, and not just be victim of what gets thrown at me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you very much for being with me today and for sharing so direct and open all these thoughts. And see you in the next episode.
Thank you for
I'm
having
really
me.
excited about the next one.
Me too.